Um, yeah, I'm here on behalf of the defendant, Jamil Lockhart, and you're making a special appearance.
All right. Well, you got to make your special appearance to the Wayne County Jail. I told you that.
It looks like someone failed to turn himself in. Welcome back to today's video, where we return to Judge Perkins' courtroom to follow a case we covered earlier involving Jamil from the Lockhart family. In the last hearing, Judge Perkins ordered him to serve 30 days in Wayne County Jail for contempt of court. However, he did not report to serve his time, and now with an active bench warrant and issues like losing his driving privileges, he is seeking to move forward. The challenge is that Judge Perkins is not willing to proceed with the original charges until those 30 days are completed in court.
I filed a notice of removal for all of these cases because I don't believe that this court is capable of acting in an unbiased way. But I mean, there's been no response from the city, but to this point. I mean, just the last court date we had, perjury was committed. I mean, you guys put on the record that I failed to appear.
During the hearing, it was noted that you failed to appear when your name was called. She stated that you identified yourself as Jamil of the Lockhart family, a flesh and blood living man, and also claimed to be the attorney, in fact, for the defendant, Jamil Lockhart. Because of this, you did not appear in a proper legal capacity, as you are not a licensed attorney. However, this was not the main issue that led to your current trouble or consequences. The real concern for the court was the failure to follow proper procedure and the resulting delay in moving the case forward. It is this issue that kept the matter from progressing further in court.
Ordered to do 30 days in the Wayne County Jail. You haven't showed up. You still haven't showed up. So you're still disobeying. No, let's not do this. This is how it started the last time. You're still disobeying the court's order, and you have to do 30 days. You have to present yourself to the Wayne County Jail. You have a warrant out for your arrest. And before we go over this other stuff, you got to go. You have to go to the Wayne County Jail. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So
I said what
I can increase the time if you can take to not be compliant.
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting the proceedings. May I have a breakout room with this litigant, please, and thank you.
I don't know if he wants to speak to a lawyer, but he can if he needs to. He has that right to do so. You want to speak to the lawyer, Mr. Lockhart, or no?
Wow, I was just thinking about that old saying about guiding someone to water, but not being able to make them drink. It really fits situations where advice is given, but not always followed. Sometimes people hear everything clearly, yet still choose their own path. Funny enough, I remember I even said that line myself once, and it still makes sense today. No matter how much guidance is offered, the final choice always belongs to the individual. It is a reminder that understanding and action are not always the same thing. People often reflect on it when outcomes depend on personal responsibility.
It's going to go with Mr. Lockhart. So I don't know why he's still sitting here.
Well, Your Honor, if the court will allow, we would like to attempt resolution of the matters that are on the docket. So I would ask if the court could stay the contempt proceedings and allow him to handle these matters.
No. It's been well over a year. No. He's going to have to go turn himself in, and we'll deal with it that way.
Your Honor, if the court could, just in the interest of justice and judicial economy, if he could resolve these matters, if he's still going to have to do the 30 days in Wayne County Jail, if at time of sentencing, it could all be wrapped up together just to not further delay his constitutional right to speedy trial.
He's delayed his rights. He's delayed his rights to a speedy trial.
And I do have a resolution, Your Honor.
No, I don't want to. I'm not even going to entertain it. That ship has sailed. We tried to give him that opportunity a long time ago. He kept being contemptuous in the court. He comes with these far out legal theories that he has that I quite frankly, don't know where he's coming from on that. No, I'm not gonna even entertain that with it.
And Your Honor, I completely understand the court's position. I completely understand if he still has to do the 30 days Wayne County Jail, but I think that he was potentially misguided, did not understand the finer points of the law, court rules, and courtroom behavior and procedure. So now that he has the assistance of counsel, which I'm not saying that he didn't have the assistance of counsel before, if the court would allow him.
We offered him counsel then. He denied the counsel. Go back and look at the video.
I think the situation is frustrating to watch, especially since he appeared disrespectful at the beginning of the case. Because of that behavior, some feel the court should not show leniency. I also understand Judge Perkins' position, as he insists that the 30-day sentence be completed before any further proceedings continue. The case itself seems like it should have been resolved long ago, but delays and missed requirements have kept it ongoing. Now, everything depends on following the court's order before moving forward with simpler matters that were already pending. This has caused repeated setbacks in the process.
To read up on the law and so he can make it and understand how this process goes. So go ahead to the Wayne County Jail. You can take they probably have some legal books there, and we'll hear these matters when you come out, sir.
Your Honor, is any of this on the record or no? Or did we not? Okay.
No, it's not on the record because I didn't call the cases. I'm going to continue on. That appears to be Charles Gardner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Your Honor, am I allowed to go back in the breakout room to explain that to Mr. Lockhart? Because he seems to have had a change of heart if the court would allow him to at least.
Maybe he can go turn himself in and you can file an appeal. File something to get him heard before the court, and they can zoom in from the Wayne County Jail and we'll resolve it that way. But until he turns himself in, he's got a warrant out for his arrest. He's had this warrant out for I don't know how long. I can look back into the record, but and he's never presented himself. So he was contemptuous then. He continues to not follow or obey the court's orders. So he has to go do the time. Or hire himself a lawyer to get it back in front of the court. But until we get the first matter resolved that we had, we're not going to get into the other matters.
The contempt proceedings arise out of his appearance in court. So he's still not allowed to just resolve these before he commits himself to the Wayne County Jail.
And we can call this the path of least progress, because every time someone takes a step forward, they end up undoing their own progress and falling behind again. Instead of moving closer to solutions, they repeat the same mistakes and create more delays for themselves. What should be simple ends up becoming complicated, and nothing really moves ahead in a meaningful way. In the end, it feels like progress is constantly reversed rather than achieved. Over time, this cycle only slows everything down and makes each new step harder than the last. Real improvement never happens when the same approach is repeated without change.
Lockhart here, I don't know what else to do. What else you can do for him, Mrs. Harris? She continues to disobey the court order. Just continues to do so.
Your Honor, I dare not say. Well, I don't know. I don't think that it's an intentional. Well, I can't say that.
Wait a minute.
I don't think. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna take that back. I think he has good intentions. I think he now has a better understanding of everything that has taken place.
I don't think so, because he came in here talking about he's appearing on behalf of the person Jameer Lockhart. So I think he's on the same path as he was that got him into.
Yeah, you quickly apologize for your actions once you realize that serving 30 days in jail might become your immediate reality. But if there was real remorse for the contempt shown, you would have turned yourself in and accepted responsibility instead of waiting for consequences to catch up. True accountability means facing the situation directly, not reacting only when it becomes inconvenient. Real responsibility is shown through actions, not last-minute words when pressure arrives. Waiting until consequences appear does not reflect real accountability. It only shows delayed reaction. Overall,
he understands what it would take to resolve his matters. He understands how he has to represent himself in court. And so I think he's in a position that he wants to resolve these matters. We've had the discussion. We asked for leniency and mercy from the court. I understand if the condition is that he still has to do 30 days in the Wayne County Jail, although we would ask if the court would reconsider that sentence now that he has taken the time to actually listen to advice of counsel and be made fully aware of how he should present himself in court. I know that it's his intention to resolve these matters without any further court appearances or draining any further resources or delaying the process anymore. And I know that the court doesn't want to delay the process any further. I understand his behavior is what put us in this position as of right now, but we're just hoping to resolve today if the court will allow.
I'm not moved. I gave him ample, it's a 27 plus, maybe 30 plus minute video. I gave him ample opportunity. You know, and I'm not moved.
I mean, Your Honor, I mean, in that video, I did apologize to you for, I guess.
You apologize after you got.
well, he probably should have considered the consequences before behaving so recklessly in court. Actions like that don't just disappear without impact, and the system eventually responds to them. Even if there were personal or family matters involved, the court expects responsibility and proper conduct. His so-called special appearance likely carried more urgency for him at the time, but it didn't change the obligations he already had to the court. Ultimately, accountability in court is not optional and comes with clear expectations that must be followed regardless of personal circumstances. Ignoring that reality only leads to further delays and consequences in the process. Overall, the court process depends on compliance.
Guys, after the offense was, I mean, I don't know what else I would apologize.
You and you still haven't showed up, and it's been over a year, and now you want me to have some sympathy for you and to resolve the matters. I have no sympathy for you at all.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to discuss. We tried to give you a fair opportunity to be heard. You keep spewing these legal theories that I've never heard of before, and I've given you an opportunity at that date to speak with the lawyer. You refuse that. You refuse all the opportunities I've given you. And you came in here another time a couple of months ago, and I told you we weren't going to hear it then. You got to go report to the Wayne County Jail.
Mm-hmm.
So you've had ample opportunity.
You'd have me go to jail.
No, on behalf of Jameel Lockhart, I do understand that, and I know the court may hear this often, but he does have a family that he supports. It would be a great hardship on his family, his resources, and his sense of economy in terms of his job if he would have to.
Why does it seem that some people appear extremely nervous when asked to state their name in court? It often looks like the pressure of formal legal settings overwhelms them, causing hesitation or discomfort. In reality, this reaction is usually about anxiety, confusion, or not understanding procedure rather than anything else. Legal environments can feel intimidating, especially when consequences are serious. Still, the expectation is always clear identification and cooperation with the court process, regardless of personal feelings or stress. Courts rely on clarity, not hesitation.
I didn't just give him the 30 days on he should have thought about that when I was asking him. I let him speak when I was asking him to not try to overtalk the court. Let me give him an opportunity to speak. He continued to disobey that. He should have thought about that then. There's a whole lot of people up in the penitentiary that have families that they take care of, and he's not going to the penitentiary. It's just county jail. So I'm just not moved.
Would this court consider amending it in such a way that he could only do weekends to complete his 30 days?
Yeah, but he hasn't even come to done anything. I'm not inclined to do anything for Mr. Jameer Lockhart or the person of Jameer Lockhart or whatever he wants to be called or however he wants to be described himself. Jameel Lockhart.
So yeah, he has the matters that are set on the docket for today. He has presented himself to the court today.
Okay, you want to we'll take off the warrant, we'll give him a pretrial date, and then he can go do his 30 days. And he can tell the sheriff in there that what his next court date is, and somebody can rid him out then. City of Detroit versus Jameel Amir Lockhart, case numbers SP 1247989, counts 1, 2, and 3. State of Michigan. Now the laws just don't apply to him. State of Michigan versus Jameel Amir Lockhart, case number SX 378-29611. Appearance for the record, please.
Sherika Harris, on behalf of Jameel Lockhart, sir, could you state the name of the person that you are representing on the record, please, or that you identify, please?
Some people wonder what exactly he does for a living, as it appears this is treated like a job, and he is being paid while addressing the situation. From that perspective, it can feel like the process is being handled in a way that frustrates those involved. If any apology is due, some argue it should be directed toward the taxpayers of Michigan, whose hard-earned money funds these proceedings, especially when they feel the process is being misused or turned into a spectacle instead of being resolved properly and respectfully in court. View reflects frustration with how long and costly legal processes can become when disputes remain unresolved.
Have to go do the time.
So, sir, as we discussed, I think you would be better suited if you, 1, hire an attorney, 2, go to the Wayne County Jail and submit yourself so that your matters could be resolved. I understand that when you appear in court, there's different attorneys.
He didn't want an attorney. And I guess you have gotten through to him a little bit. He changed it. He came in here hearing on behalf of the person, Jameer Lockhart. And then when he asked him to state his name, he came and he indicated that he was Jameer Lockhart now. So I don't know what he like I say.
I mean, if I could speak a little bit here. I don't know, Your Honor, I'm not a criminal. I just want to handle this, get this over with.
I didn't say you were a criminal, sir. I didn't listen.
No, I know you didn't.
I didn't say you were a criminal. As it stands now, these are allegations. So until there's an adjudication of either guilt or not guilt, that'll determine, whether you're a criminal or not. So I don't know. You got these allegations out here. So I didn't make that comment. You were a criminal.
Right. No, I'm not saying that you did. But I just want to handle this, and put this to rest. At this point, I feel like it's taken up too much of my time, too much of.
It seems that after facing real-life consequences, a decision has been made to move forward by applying for a driver's license, so transportation is no longer an issue. This shift suggests a recognition that proper documentation and legal compliance are necessary for everyday mobility. Engaging with the state system allows access to driving privileges and avoids further complications with travel restrictions. Overall, it reflects a practical adjustment to ensure smoother movement and compliance with requirements going forward. This represents a shift toward resolving matters through proper legal channels rather than avoiding them.
Every day, sir. I serve the city residents of the city of Detroit and the state of Michigan and whoever comes in here. So it doesn't take up my time. This is what we do.
Yeah. And continuing, I would just like to, get this over with, pay whatever fines need to be paid. I would like to have my license back. I can't rent a car when I travel. I would like to be able.
That is not how this process works, and it cannot be treated casually or ignored. Actions taken in court have consequences, and once a ruling is made, it must be followed. Previous behavior in the courtroom has already resulted in a clear penalty, which includes a 30-day period of custody. These outcomes are not optional or open to reinterpretation later. The legal system expects accountability, respect for procedure, and compliance with orders. Moving forward requires accepting those consequences rather than dismissing them. Ignoring them only prolongs the situation and leads to further complications.
Last year, over a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just want to resolve this. Whatever I owe for those offenses, I'm willing to pay, and it'll be done with this situation. I truthfully don't think it's your, mission to put people in jail that have not harmed anybody or committed any offense against, any actual live human being. I'm only guilty of speaking out of turn. And, I should have handled this differently. I can see that now, I really just want to get this whole situation rectified, and whatever the charges are that I need to pay.
So you're saying there's a federal claim against the judge handling your statutory case, and then you're surprised there isn't any leniency shown in return. From the court's perspective, that kind of position usually doesn't help your situation or improve how the case is treated. Instead, it tends to make the process more rigid and formal, since judges are expected to stay strictly within legal procedure. As a result, any expectation of special consideration becomes even less likely.
Next pretrial date is September 22nd.
Yeah,
Well,
based on the statements.
That being said, I don't think, based on everything that has happened, our history, the claim in federal court that I have against you.
It has been noted that proceedings are being recorded, and any statements made on record may later be reviewed by the court. In such situations, the judge can replay portions of the record if needed during evaluation of the case. If it is stated that there is no civil claim for damages and the purpose is only to avoid custody, that may influence how the court interprets intent and arguments. Courts focus on legal basis and consistency of claims, and unclear positions can impact outcomes. The court generally relies on formal pleadings rather than informal remarks made during proceedings. Accuracy on the record is therefore important.